Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah.
I'm Jake.
And we are going to be talking about the 2024 horror film known as Mads.
French horror film.
It is. It is a foreign film.
Oui, oui.
Speaking of wee wees, guy in the shower.
Oh, yeah, man. I saw that and I was like, oh, Judah's going to love this, man.
Yeah, it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
It was a cold shower.
Did you happen to read? I don't expect you to remember this, but I'll check and see.
Yeah.
Did you happen to read the description?
Yes, I did.
On Shudder. Okay.
Yeah.
It said, what's that guy's name? Romaine.
Romaine.
It's like an 18-year-old finds woman hurt on the side of the road, decides to stop and help her. Mm-hmm. She gets in the car and randomly slams her head into the dashboard where she bleeds out and dies.
Which she didn't. That's a lie.
All bullshit. That whole description was
way
trash.
Off. Yeah, I think it was probably an English translation.
That's a possibility, maybe.
That's my guess because, I mean, I thought there would be some prologue there before he was doing the drugs because it talks about, is this a bad trip?
Yeah.
Or, I think it's just French translation, English translation.
One, he did not stop to help a woman.
She crawled out in front
He's
of him.
a shithead for one. Right from the beginning, I'm like, I don't like this entitled piece of shit. That was just my personal.
There's a lot of that going on.
That's how I felt about him. He's driving his daddy's expensive classic car.
Mustang.
Smoking a cigarette. He drops some ash and he's all like, duh, duh.
And he's there in utter euphoria.
Yeah.
And she just happens to climb out.
So he stops to brush off this ash from the car because from what I gather, his dad cares more about the car than his son, which might play into some of the drug addiction stuff. But I don't know. Then, suddenly this woman is in his car. There was no stopping to help anybody. There's no redeeming qualities for Romaine at all. He's an entitled piece of shit druggie. Anyway, he does at least say, can I take you to the hospital? Are you okay? She can't talk. She's trying to mime to him and everything. Where's this dashboard? Head into the dashboard. She starts stabbing herself. Oops, sorry.
Spoilers.
Within the first 5 minutes of the movie, she just starts stabbing herself. That's when I was like, the description of this movie was completely incorrect.
Way off. Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was kind of like looking forward to that scene.
The dashboard scene.
The dashboard scene. Yeah. So let's talk about the way this movie is shot. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's a one-shot movie.
Is
it?
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's either a one-shot movie or it's clever cuts. Mm-hmm. Either way, it was shot in the form of a one-shot. Mm-hmm. I think the acting was on fucking point.
Okay.
For some young actors, and especially if it was a one shot, I was pleasantly surprised at the acting. But I'll leave that there. Yeah,
it's difficult for me to say, especially when watching a foreign movie, because you don't actually know how they're delivering their lines. We're just reading it.
That's fair,
and we're just kind of like, well, maybe. So I think our judgment for the acting. I mean, I've seen like Hispanic soap opera, they are so melodramatic. Mm-hmm. You can see that and you laugh at it as bad acting, even though you can't hear the way they're delivering the line, just the way they pose themselves. So there wasn't that overacting, but
so this was a little more nuanced.
Yes, us and our nuanced opinions of movies. By the way, only listen to us. We're the only ones that have correct views on movies. The unwashed masses know nothing. I don't care.
Cheap.
If 65% of Rotten Tomato viewers said that this movie was good, listen to what we have to say. We are the only truth here. Anyway. That's just a little...
Get that little resentment out there?
I don't know. That's the little leftover feelings from our Sinners review that we did.
Hey, man, any attention is good.
That's true. We do love your interaction, even if you don't agree with our opinions. Yeah, it's totally
fine. Actually, we know that people aren't going to agree, and we're okay with that. We love it. Thank you guys for commenting. Those who commented on the last video, thank you. We actually do appreciate it. Give us something to talk about, too, and just kind of... know that somebody's watching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And especially thanks that other third person who didn't like Sinners, who joined the ranks of haters out there.
Thanks for the affirmation.
Yeah.
That's what we live off of.
Apparently, me liking the set pieces, the clothing, the lighting, the cinematography, the music, me liking all that doesn't count. It's the fact that I didn't like the storyline. I'm a piece of crap now. Anyway, go figure.
Well, you were a piece of crap before.
That's
we
true.
It's
movie,
true.
So. It's true. We did also learn that Jesus is there for us. Thank you, Isaiah, for that. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I think he saw a review of The Woman in the Yard, and he wanted us to know that Jesus loves us.
No, hey, we appreciate it.
There we go. So back to Mads. I have been over zombie movies for a long time now. You know, The Walking Dead was a huge thing.
It was very hipster.
And I was so into up till when Negan came in and killed my favorite character, who I can't even remember his name. The Asian dude.
Asian dude? Something with the C.
I don't know.
No.
Can't remember. I know there's people out there who are going to shout it at me in the comments.
Please do.
I just forget. I can't remember his name, and I loved him.
You know what it was? It was Carl. That's what it was. Let's just leave that there for the commenters to correct us. You got to look it up. God, I hope you cut this out.
Oh, Walking Deaf.
That's a different show.
Glenn.
You should just left it for the commenters to correct us.
Glenn.
Coral.
Anyway.
Coral.
No, it was not Carl. It was Glenn. When they came in, Negan, I didn't care anymore. And that whole group, it was like they would just come in. They would find somebody who was doing things good. They would come in and they just ruin it for them. There's communities that are surviving and thriving in this zombie apocalypse. They show up, everything goes to hell. Anyway.
Are we watching Mads or Walking Dead here, Judah?
You know what? Maybe we need to talk about whether or not you are back on the podcast or not.
You do have ultimate say here. So
no. So it just that plays into the zombie thing. I became over zombies altogether.
Yeah.
It felt like
there were a lot of copycats on top of that.
Yes,
was a lot of spin-offs. It was just like, okay.
And the fact that is still going to this day is insane.
Or Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes.
There's a third one that's out now, I believe. Yeah. So, anyways.
So, that being said, zombie movies have kind of been off my plate for a while.
And spoiler, because, I didn't know this was a zombie movie.
Me either.
For probably the first half of it or so. But you kind of get, I don't want to say blindsided, because that's a racist term. The movie Blindside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was unaware of this.
Please cut that out.
I might.
Anyways, it was, you kind of questioning it the whole time, but you don't know. Again, this just goes into that. Is it a government experiment? Is it the drugs? It's obviously, a bad trip, blah, blah, blah. Well, you kind of figure it out. It's pretty Umbrella-esque.
It is.
But the thing is with this is you are never explained. There is zero story here. Zero story. Zero background. Zero explanation. But for me, it kept my interest strictly because of the one shot. But,
we're not at this point, I'm going to say we're not going to land on the same place here as far as appreciation for this movie.
I'm okay with that.
But I agree. Based off of the description that it gave, and it's saying that this kid didn't know if the woman in the car was just a bad trip or not. Halfway through the movie, I was still just like, what's going on? Is this whole movie just going to be a bad drug trip movie, which really annoyed me. I was like,
really cheap.
I was just like, I don't care about this kid. I don't care. he's so popular. There was a lot of frustration, probably because I wasn't popular, but I hated him, this Romaine, so much. And it's unclear. You really do just think he's freaking out because of these drugs. And then when you do start to realize this might be a zombie outbreak type thing, I did have to give it props for it not being the stereotypical zombie movie.
Yeah. It was something that I haven't. I mean, you're starting to see the beginnings of an outbreak, rather than coming into a world where this is already existing, which was nice to see. And I think again with the acting, the delivery of their ticks and stuff like that when they were starting to turn, I thought was interesting. At least it wasn't full on. It seemed like they still had some humanity left in them, even when they were turned. She would come back, and again, here's spoilers: the girlfriend or the side piece. Which one's which? The second girl, the second story you follow.
Look, you bringing that up.
Yeah.
We're going to have to stop again. What it seemed to me, she shows up at his house, but she's talking to someone on the phone, and it sounds to me like she is ready to dump Romaine for another guy. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
Is that how it sounded to you?
Yeah, I think she was feeling frustrated. She's clearly got some body issues as far as her insecurities with body issues and whatnot. When she got shot, she was freaking out about her body. My poor body.
Gosh.
Stuff like that where clearly, I think she was probably just getting a backup there, just in case. Clearly he did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think he wasn't as interested in her as she was in him. But again, this all goes back to none of this story matters, in my opinion. Like, again, that's just my opinion. The story just, you have very little care for these characters, except for the fact that, like, okay, I'm interested in seeing what exactly is going on. I started to kind of feel bad for them at the very least when they started losing their humanity, because you're just kind of like, man, hey, again, age alert here. When I was on drugs, I knew that part of that insanity part where it was like, oh shit, man, I'm losing my mind here. And that's a scary place to be. And you could see it in these characters where they were just starting to kind of lose it. And they didn't know if it was the drugs or if something else was going on. They had no idea what was happening to them.
Because I already said I'm over zombie movies, I didn't really care. But I also, until I realized that it was supposed to be some kind of a zombie movie, I also didn't care because I was like, I already mentioned, these entitled, rich, drugged out kids, all it was just their drama of sleeping with each other. Oh, I can sleep with somebody else, but you can't. So I'm going to freak out. So I was very just like, I don't care. In fact, when these mysterious people dressed in hazmat suits that were just killing people started showing up, I legitimately, my feeling was, can you hurry up and just kill these people and get it over with? That was my feeling about this movie. Just please kill them and get it over with. But I have to recognize, as I already sort of mentioned, the take on the zombie franchise, it not being typical. And I have to praise it for its non-typical approach to this whole thing. Also, in a way, in, what are the movies called? Anthology. There we go. Movies that have multiple shorts, and these anthology movies try to tie these shorts together in somewhat of a absurd fashion. Like, oh, there's some kids that are hanging out at a video store and they're telling each other scary stories.
Or how, like, what was that movie we watched, the anthology with Drew Barrymore in it?
Oh, Cat's Eye.
Where she shows up in the storefront
Yeah.
like her ghost, and you're like, what
That
is
made no sense,
this? It made no sense. Yeah.
This to me, in a way, felt like an anthology film that stitched all the stories together in a more convincing way than I've ever seen done in an anthology movie. But it's not an anthology movie because it's about one event, but it follows this one event through the eyes of 3 different people, which is why almost 4 towards the end. I was, again, the praise for being able to stitch this somewhat anthology movie together with one thread was quite creative to me. And I did like that. You could, the one thing that I'm like, lame, you could actually walk away from this believing that these kids were just
Tripping balls
out of their mind. Yes, because it was a new drug. Romaine asks his druggy friend, "What's in this?" He's like, "I don't know. I don't mix this stuff. It's something new. I don't, whatever. You
Cat
want it?
pee and chlorine, baby.
You want it or not?"
Mm-hmm.
And Romaine's like, "Sure." And only Romaine, his girlfriend, and his side chick take this drugs, and they're the only ones from the perspective of the movie that experience this weirdness. So you could walk away being like, was that really a zombie outbreak, or were those kids just tripping balls?
You could. I could see that. Yeah. I don't think the movie was pushed that way, but you could definitely do that.
Honestly, I'm just looking for things to talk about.
Yeah, that's okay. Did you notice how in the you've got it pulled up there, the what would you call that? The Mads thing right there.
Promo pic?
The promo pic. Did you notice it matched the mask that he was wearing at the beginning of the movie, towards the beginning of the movie?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the multiple eyes and mouths. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, noses and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of neat. It was a little, just a little nod there, but it was neat. I love this promo picture.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really creepy and interesting. But again, here's what I'll say. This is my take on the movie. For me, again, an hour and a half went by really fast on this. I think it's just the type of movie it was. So it was a one shot, and I think it kept your interest. It kept my interest for an hour and a half. I was trying to put the kids down, so maybe that was where it went that time. You know what I mean? Just like, but it went by quickly. At the end of the movie, I was surprised that was the end of the movie. I feel like they could have gone a little bit. There was just very little explanation of what's actually going on. I think the director was more pushing towards the type of movie it was and getting that one shot out there. I thought the acting was good. My overall score here is, I would say, I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. It's interesting. I would not watch it again, obviously. There's nothing that you miss in the first watch through that you're going to catch on the second watch through. There's really nothing there. There's very little substance as far as a storyline goes, but it is very interesting. It was interesting to me, and it was interesting to watch the actors act this insanity out, but slowly, So,
Okay. My score is going to be a 4 out of 10, but I want you to know there are praiseworthy things about this movie. After Romaine gets his drugs from his buddy and he takes off in the car and he's driving down the road and you see the word Mads off in the distance.
Oh, I loved that.
I loved how he's driving and Mads is getting larger as you come towards it, and he drives through it. It's not new. We've seen something like this before somewhere, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's creative. I enjoyed that. I appreciated that. There are praiseworthy things about this movie, but I'm not going to recommend it to anybody unless I know you are a hardcore zombie fan. Then I'm going to be like, oh, you should check this out. It has an interesting perspective on that genre. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I would pass on it. I would say, if you don't mind, let's check out some of the reviews from IMDb, see what other people...
let's see if we need to trash this whole video.
Okay, so it has an average score of a 6.4 on IMDb. 75 reviews. Let's see if we got any 1 stars. We do.
This movie sucks. Clever.
Okay. This is from Bood.
All right, Bood.
BBOODD.
Oh, Babood.
-58782. Watched this one last October. Says, honestly, for 1 hour straight, I could not understand what the plot was.
Fair.
It is rated 18, which makes no sense other than literally one scene that I won't even spoil. That's the wiener scene.
Mm-hmm.
I will spoil it for you.
Yeah.
It lasts for less than 1 minute. Are they complaining?
They really should have drawn that scene out.
More wieners. 2 minutes of wieners. They claim the movie was shot in one take, which is what you were saying, which makes sense because there are no transitions. The camera angle is terrible. I could barely see the action because of the poor lighting. It did somewhat have a found footage feel to it, somewhat.
Yeah, there was some. What was interesting, though, that they did this one, I don't know exactly how they did it. I have to go back and look at it, but clearly there were some drone-type shots in there, and then it would go to more of a fixed-type camera. So, anyways. But
there's no main character. The center of the action just twists from a place to another. Honestly, I'm just speechless. I haven't seen such a bad movie that would make me regret paying for a ticket in years.
Wow.
It is surprising it has such a high rating. The movie has nothing good to offer.
Thanks, Babood.
Now, let's see. Let's check out a tenor.
There's not as many of those.
No. This is by Sydney Soibhan.
Let's go, Sydney.
She just watched this back in March. Interesting, innovative, creative, realistic, and entertaining. Do you agree with any of this? This movie does everything right. That's a little... Anyway, there's no Hollywood influence, and I think that's one of the major reasons this movie is a gem. I got hooked right away. It's true, the story itself isn't anything new, but that's not really the point. It's more about the how instead of the why, which is interesting because when I give my review, the things I like are more about the how.
Yeah, that's fair. How it was shot, how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah. I especially have to mention the acting skills of Lori Pavey. It's simply amazing what she's doing on the movie. It's very sad that performance is in such genres don't get recognition unless Hollywood pushes its buttons. The actors and makers of the movie should be bombarded with awards. Sure, it's not the best movie in history, but definitely much, much better than Sinners. I mean, than the Hollywood produced lately. Watch it. It's 100% worth your time.
I'd give it more of like a 50% worth your time, but they both make good points, I think, and I think we've made those points here. You know what I mean? It's the how. It's different. It's French. So, I mean, hey, take that. That's probably why that wiener scene was in there. They're a little more open to that stuff.
Exactly.
You know,
why didn't have a...
Why can't we have a nude workplace? I mean...
Okay. Anyway, that was Mads. It came out in 2024. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Jake, you said a 5 out of 10?
5.5.
Anyway, it was interesting for what it was. I would pass on it. Please leave your comments below. We want to hear what you have to say about this movie.
We really do. I swear.
We want to hear your recommendations for movies that I should force Jake to watch so we can get him back into this room doing more reviews with us.
And we'd like to hear how you think Judas should get his hair cut.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, go ahead. I mean, it's not going to happen, but...
Yeah, well, everybody's got their price.
There you go.
Thank you guys for joining us. We've been Creeping It Real. I'm Jake.
Judah. See you later.
Later.